horizontal line. It's the same thing with the sun. The sun rises red, red, and sets red, red. If you can see it on the horizon.
Give me a minute.
But you're right, at some point it'll be yellow, and then it'll be orange, and then it's red. So my question is, what is in our horizon? And that part.
Do we have sound now? Yes, we have sound. All right. Do not call Skype yet. I'll tell you when it's ready.
The moon didn't used to rise red every night. Nor did the sun.
Oh, that's interesting.
Nor did they set red. And
that's very interesting.
Most of the time, especially in the southwest sky, and there's something in the horizon that causes a really strong pull or something, because
that was crazy.
When the moon sets in that particular part of the sky, or certain stars rise or set in that part of the sky, they always have a lot of unexplained movement to them, as if they're being tugged on a lot. And it only happens in that part of the sky when they're, a certain degree above the horizon. But it's constant too, it's consistent. It's been consistent. So there's something there. That's for sure.
Yeah, hello?
Hi there.
Hey, what's up?
That was crazy, wasn't it?
It's still crazy on my end.
Is it?
They're not, the powers that be don't want us talking together. No, I don't know. In fact, I got out of, in fact, I went into another station to see if it was happening to them. Like, you know what I'm saying? Is it my phone or, you know what I'm talking about? And
right.
so I went in your station once, station channel, whatever they call it, one time, 2 times that Patrick was able to answer me. But we didn't know what happened to you.
I had to reboot.
Oh, okay. So system. I don't know. Okay. Oh, I feel so bad. And so I thought maybe it was my landline, meaning one of my phones. So I grabbed a different phone from upstairs. That's what I did. But is it something that's normal that happens?
It happens every once in a while. I mean, software, computers, and electronics, and everything will have issues sometimes. But yeah. See, the problem is when I'm trying to reload Skype, if people call in while I'm trying to reload it, it will freeze it. If it has incoming calls when it's loading, it freezes it up for some reason.
Oh, okay, I'm back here. I see it now. We're back.
Yeah.
Patrick wrote, this is weird, Suzanne, but I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what it is? Because I did see your phone number, so I don't know if you were able to hear me. Then I actually called you from, my cell, but I don't know if you would have, you may have not recognized it.
Oh, was that 570 number?
Yeah, don't be giving that out, though.
No. I'm just talking about area code.
Yes, that was myself.
Okay, yeah, I saw that as I was shutting down the whole computer, and
okay, because I saw Patrick's going. Wait, was it me or Judy? Are you there? Oh Lord. I was thinking maybe, I'm like, oh no, are they messing with us? Because sometimes, I listen to other channels, but I don't know how true it is. And then they'll be, like people will be like, oh, they're buffering, they're messing with you, but I don't know,
Yeah, no,
but I know what you're saying.
They're not messing with us. I mean, it just things happen. It like at work, we have all these coaches, for soccer teams and football and some of it's 4 and 5 year olds teams, and some of it's middle school, high school, yada yada. But anyway, so we have coaches. Everybody has different computers. They have different Wi-Fi connections. They have different cell phone providers, and there's days when all of it acts up. And
Yeah.
and trust me, nobody is hacking or trying to stop somebody from scheduling a practice session for 4 year olds to practice their soccer. You know what I mean? And their computers go down, and you know, I mean, those
Yeah.
things
No.
happen. I know some of these channels love to play on that. See, we know we're telling the truth because they're trying to mess with us, and I just laugh. I'm like, oh, y'all are so crazy with that stuff, trying to, you know.
Oh wait, it's imminent. All right, this time I feel so bad because I'm calling you late. I apologize, and I know you're not feeling good, and you keep wanting that chicken noodle soup.
I want some
I
chicken
feel.
noodle soup so bad.
Oh,
I don't want bouillon. I don't want warm salt water. I want chicken noodle soup.
yeah, but you gotta make do with what you got. Like, what
Nah,
are you
well,
gonna
I don't
do?
have any of that, so I
You
wouldn't want it.
don't?
I wouldn't want it anyway. Even if I had it, I wouldn't use it because I want what I want right now. I want chicken noodle soup. Uh, I'm being spoiled today.
No cans in that cabinet over there. Come on, like the
No,
Campbell's when it goes on
no,
sale at the
no,
ShopRite
no,
or
no,
whatever.
no, no, no. I don't have that kind of budget where I just stock up on things.
Oh, all right. I was gonna say usually that one goes quick, even with soup. Like that's the first one. I like I do like chicken noodle, but I don't like New England chowder. I like Manhattan clam chowder. And when that one goes on sale, I buy that up. Because that one's like the most expensive soup out of all the
Right.
soups made, as far as the Campbell's go.
Yeah, I like um chicken noodle soup. I don't. I have this thing in my head though from years ago. I watched this documentary on what they allow for factories, and so
Yeah.
when I think about that, I'm like, oh, I really don't want chicken noodle soup when I know what they allow in the factories as far as what they. I don't even
Oh
want to go into it
yeah.
because it'll gross people out, and then you'll never want chicken noodle
It's
soup
still
again.
like that. It's
It's just like
still
when I saw
you
the
know.
bacteria in chocolate. Protein is a bacteria anyway.
Well, I told you I worked in a factory when I was because I know after that was the magazine company. So I was young. I worked at the factory when I was 18. 18 years old. I was right out of school. I was dating a guy who had a job at the factory. He was a little older than me. And he got me the job. First, I was on the second shift, and I was on the third shift. That's the job that I think I was telling you about the plastics plant. I used to drive the forklift. Actually, I was, did the packaging, but I also ran like, that had to be, what was it, like 1985?
Yeah.
That's what I was saying. And, but it wasn't with food. But trust me, working in a factory, like, I got you on that with the factory. And, but I laugh because I'm thinking that I actually have, oh God, a few years ago, I still have it. My husband and I were going through like our file, like files or whatever, and I went, look at this. I actually have a paycheck stuff. I couldn't believe it because I save not. I'm not like a hoarder, but there's things that I'll save, like and in you know. I was, it just so, like, I had like some kind of file that had older things, like, at the time. And I went, oh my God, I can't believe this is here. And it was a paycheck stub back from 1985. And I was making 300 and like 80, I'm not even joking. It was like and this is after the taxes. I think it was like 300, and I'm forgetting now, like $75, but $375 a week. Okay. And that was it. Even though I was a packaging supervisor, it was a factory. Back in those times, that was dirt. You know what I'm talking about? Like like what happened here with the dollar. Like everybody else was, was like, oh, that's why I was going to college. I'm like, everybody's making 50, 60, 80,000 millions of dollars a year over here. I'm like, oh, I got to, everybody's making big money because it was a lot of office jobs. I don't know if you remember that time.
Right.
And and I was just like, and then I thought about it. I was speaking to my sister about that at the time, and I said to her, because here and there I would find these paychecks that I like old stubs, but we kind of know ourselves. And I even said, my sister said, didn't you make that on your paper route? Because I had like a paper route like when I was 13 years old until I was 16. And I took on two routes, and that's actually how much I would make a week at that age with the paper route. And it's just, as I said, so, like looking at today's day, it just doesn't match. It just gets worse every decade right now, or at least the last 10 years, if not almost 20.
Oh
I
yeah.
do,
I definitely
I
I
see
made
with
more
every,
money. I made more money at 12 and 13 years old than I do now. And the
exactly,
cost of living has went
exactly,
way up in the last 44 years.
exactly. And then the pay going down for a lot of people. Like anything that was like any type of, I don't want to say all jobs, but exactly right. I mean, when I talk about with the factory jobs, I mean, I really don't look. I know that there's some industry up by me over here, but I don't. The joke is, and I don't want to say the joke. The sad part is that I think I meet a few people that work. They're still there. Some of these little factories, envelope factory. They still like they still they're like, yeah, I make 8 something an hour or 7 something an hour, and I'm like, I'm just like, it just doesn't make sense to me because back in the 80s, I didn't even like I know in the 80s the minimum wage was more like I think I didn't really do the waitressing that long. I could be wrong. Was what like five? I'm in New York, New Jersey, whatever here, but $5 something an hour, that kind of
Really?
thing. But it was a teenage job. So
For
really think about how many years ago. I
that's
hate to
what they were
date
paying waitresses?
us. you
Because waitressing here is still only 2 something an hour.
Yeah, I think. Well, so there went. Well, I don't know how it varied then, but still, the point is
Here now
the
it's
po-
still
and
only $2 an hour. $2.35 an hour.
that is abs. And then they have. I don't know how that works with the waitressing because I wasn't a very good waitress. Like it wasn't like not that I was a bad waitress. It wasn't my forte. I
Oh,
tried it, but
I was
like
excellent. I was
yeah,
excellent
there's
bartender.
people you seem like the person would be that would do
I
good
made
at it.
really good money doing that.
And I mean, then I had like I was I think I made at what was it in two. I mean, at one point I was making 45,000, 47 a year. That was oh God, you gotta forgive me because I had like I worked with a no before the attorney. So in where was it? I did temping for years. I would temp and do different jobs. So I got a lot of experience with that back and forth. Then I landed a job. I'm going to say the mid '90s, and it was uh, like a consulting firm, but it was more phone work. But it was a lot of work. But it wasn't selling a product. You just had to know the product, and it dealt with like acquisitions and mergers and data and benchmarking job positions. And I get like these almost arrogant CEOs and arrogant HR personnel. And many of them were nice. I hate to talk like that. I sound like I have anger in me, but there were like some people that really had attitude, and you had to deal with them. Like and I don't even like it, the way I talk now. I wish I could be as professional I was back then. I would put on the professional voice. I had to, and there is a professional voice to me. And but even that job, and it was exhausting. But even that job, I made, yeah, like I would say the most I made was like 50 a year, but still, where is that at for everybody? I don't know. I don't think I would be able to find it now.
Yeah.
So I do understand, like there is. I think they should. I don't know. I think there should be more at least factory jobs. I hate to talk like that because with a factory job, you still have office. Because after, I mean, I don't know how to tell you how. Like when I really think about it,
Well, all our
and
big
I think with
companies
anybody else,
moved
I held like many
overseas.
different jobs. Like I
Uh,
even worked in
all our factory jobs
a
went
big plant
overseas.
company in the office. So a lot. Oh, I'm sorry.
All our big company factory jobs went overseas because it was cheaper for the
NAFTA.
American companies to move overseas and pay people over there and then ship the stuff back to us to
Yeah,
buy
I
while the money isn't
yeah.
being made here.
Yeah, well, we watched it the last 10 years, if not more. I mean, I'm sure you even know, like even here in PA, every day, I think we were talking about this. I don't know if it was my sister or you, or about every day on that local channel, just a local channel, because they didn't cover that on the I know what people call it, but on I guess there's really not much of a choice. Your CNN and the Fox News because it's pretty obvious where like they really don't care. I hate to say it, and you even I don't know. Don't people will die and get burned and we talk about no empathy. People are
Yeah.
dying, places are burning. They give it maybe if you're lucky a minute or two, and then they go back to bashing and I'm not sticking up for Trump, but bashing Trump or bashing like all political, no empathy whatsoever. You know what I mean? Or like
Well, you
they'll
know
be
why
showing
though? You know
something,
why? It's because
and that
it's what
fires.
the
I
people
don't.
want. It's what the people want. People want drama. People want uh chaos. People want gossip. That's what people want. That's why it is what it is. And that's because that's how they get the clicks. They know what clickbait is. And so do some of these
Yeah,
channels. And the reason why they fill y'all with not you, but the reason why they fill people with this hype and they use these titles they use and they come on and tell these wild stories and everybody falls for it because that's what people want to hear. They don't want to hear
yeah.
good news. I tried to do something this past week and not one person has brought me one bit of good news. I had to
You,
find some myself. I said
I hear you
I
though.
want
I
people
hear
to
you.
find five good stories, whether it's a near death experience or someone helping someone. Five good stories. I was like, stay away from the drama and all the negative news and find five good stories. Not one person has brought me anything.
Well,
Nothing.
a lot of people there's on my local channel PA they have what's called talkback, and most of the people that do in are I would say more of 50, 60 on up. Of or actually even and I'm not trying like maybe even 80. Like a little. They have they'll you could tell by the voice and I don't blame them. And they call in. It's like a segment. It only goes on for a few. I don't even want to say 5 minutes. And they'll talk back like about maybe a story whether there's corruption, which there always is, or a scandal in Harrisburg, PA, like or people will even complain and go, "All you do is bad." Now I don't know if they're doing it on purpose. I don't know, but I know what you're saying. Like they'll call in and go, "All you do is tell us about the bad news." And these people once in a while do like a good story, like they yell about that. So then they finally kind of got it. So here and there they'll put like a story, whether it's a dog was rescued or something like that. So I
My
think it took
little
them a
two
while
minute
to get
tornado
it.
video got thousands more hits than anything else. I was like, now that's a shame, you know.
Oh yeah, I apologize. Which one you were saying? The one with the video? The one you said was
The
not
tornado,
hurricane
tornado.
tornado.
Yeah,
That's
people want
very.
people want
But
drama, they want destruction, they want rumors, they want lies. And I'm not saying
it's
everybody, so I
interesting
don't
you're
want people to think I'm
saying that
saying everybody,
because
but I'm saying majority of people, that's what they click on. That is what they want to hear. And when I put out a mission for everybody a few days ago to find 5 positive things, nobody, not
I
only has nobody brought that to me, some people haven't even been on the channel since then. Like, if you can't
well
find
the thing is, Judy,
bad
I haven't
news, you
myself
don't want
been
to
on the
share
news to
anything.
tell you. I could tell you some five good things in my life, but I haven't lately. I haven't been putting the news on, and it's not on purpose. It's not on. It's just I only once in a blue moon. I said I think I just put on Lou Dobbs and I like the guy, and I'll put him on. He's Fox Business. I'm not trying to sell him. I watched him for years, and
Yeah, for years I quit
he
watching the
pretty
news
he
because it
pretty
was so
much
negative.
within an hour, and he pretty much covers what's the political puppet show's doing. Like, you know what I mean? In a nutshell. I mean, I don't have nothing, it just is here is too
Well, I used to
political.
like, I like Lou Dobbs,
Even our local news is, but I
but
think you probably are aware that I could be wrong that was it Warner Brothers now, and you could correct me because I wrong. I should be googling this. Not that I trust Google because I don't want to
yeah, I
get
was
into the
getting ready to
chartreuse
say.
thing. I asked my in the Mandela thing, and I don't even argue. Like I'll just ask my sister, say ask this one because they know colors because I'm curious, but I don't really how I approach that because I don't that whole thing too. That's a big thing on YouTube is the Mandela effect. That's a big one.
But
I mean,
it's not even all of
but
that.
if even if it was, and I'm not going to say it's real or not because I've seen things, but my like you're saying like with the signs, my sign is where like my daughter and I don't know if I mentioned this. We would go out of our the mall for she grew up here. She's 11. We go to the same mall. There's a mountain that showed up that was not there before. A mountain. And I even said to her, "Wow, I wonder if we ever took a picture, at the mall of you, because I swear this mountain was never there. I'm not joking you." And even my daughter said, "Ma, where did that mountain?" Like we just knew because that mountain was never there. Because I remember when we would come out of the movies, you could see. Now, I mean, I just choked it off too, which could be possible. I said, well, maybe they chopped down trees to build something, so the
Yeah,
trees are covering it.
yeah.
So that's a possibility, and
Because you would think if there was a mountain all of a
I
sudden that
tried to
appeared
Occam
there,
razor it. You know what
if
I
there was
mean?
a
Before, like
mountain
with
that
my
wasn't
child,
there.
I try to, and I understand the Occam razor theory, but I'm not gonna freak the kid out. But I even told her, well, and then I even said, she goes, but I don't remember the trees. But I told her, I said, well, maybe it's Jesus, it's God. God works in his ways. I
Are
said it's
you
an
the
old
only two
saying.
that
My
see
mother
the
said it to
mountain?
me, her mother, and
Does anybody
my
else see the mountain?
I haven't asked no one. I haven't really like I don't go as crazy as it feels like other people do with this Mandela effect, but and I don't even want to get off subject. We're talking about, but like the whole thing, like the info, like I know how things as far as there's things that could be fudged. I'm not trying to debunk it. There's things, okay, sure, it could be altered. I think things can be altered spiritually as well, but I'm just saying other things can be altered in
Yeah,
today's
but if
digital world
if
just as
God's gonna
easy.
alter things, He ain't altering the Ford label.
No,
You
God
know.
was all like I said. There's like more to this. Like when we were, going from Pennsylvania Jersey side, I saw I'm just, we would always talk about the mountain and how pretty the pictures is, this, that. There's another mountain. I'm not joking. And like, but it's just between me and my daughter. Now you,
Or it
you know
could
what
be
I
like
mean? Like,
here. We built a mountain. It's called Mount
oh, maybe.
Trashmore, and it was made. It used to be a trash, and they made a
Well, it's
mountain out of it.
possible. It's there you go, and I'm not even saying there you go. I mean, I didn't go to this mountain. It's a few miles away. It can be the Pennsylvania trash or something. I don't know exactly right. So I can't say for a fact that it just magically got there. But as far as like that night with that Star of Bethlehem thing, no, that I don't know. But as I said, when I looked up NASA claims, which all right, fine, it was Venus with Mars or something. But I just thought it was so ironic that, like, weird that I'm on the phone with my sister. But I only when I went to look on YouTube to see, because I don't do YouTube, like any videos or anything. When I looked up YouTube, I only found, oh God, like two people, and I don't even think they were in Pennsylvania. They may have been by, like, but on the East Coast. And I think one guy, I forgot where he was even from, but it was still kind of. I think one guy was like Louisiana. It was like because I was trying. I did comment and said, well, at least you saw it. And the one, or something like that, the one guy, why he was seeing it, this is that night, like that I saw it, he was praying while it was happening and he was getting it on the phone. So he was seeing what I saw and my daughter saw. Many people, I don't think they saw it. Like, you know what I mean? Um, the way some people saw it, I guess. That was a hard one to explain because like I said, I was on the phone with my sister, and she said, "Oh, the moon, yeah, it's pretty. It's got a pink view." So I chalked it up to okay, she's in New York. I think did I send you that picture? Did you see that? But it was
Yeah.
like it does. What would you take from that picture? You know what I mean? Like it gives it no justice. I wish I had a better camera.
Well, it looked big.
It
Like,
was big.
yeah. But I seen a conjunction that really looked like like the Star of Bethlehem. Um, like the 2 points on the side, say the 3 o'clock and the 9 o'clock, were about three or a quarter ways out, and then the 6 o'clock and the noon, it was so long. And I mean, it really. And I was walking one of the employees out to their car when I worked at the bar. And I was like, "Oh my gosh, look at that star! It looks like the Star of Bethlehem." And
You told me
then,
that, yes.
and
And
then,
go
like a
ahead.
week later, I found it where they were saying they were actually calling it the Star of Bethlehem, and they said that that conjunction only happened one other time, and that was uh, back, in Jesus's day, and however they figure mathematically how things line up, just
But
like
you
they
were saying
knew
that that
they
happened
knew
what
years
year? What
before when that
when?
September 23rd sign was going to happen, that it was going to happen.
Okay, but what year was that? What year was that now?
Um, Probably like 8 years ago.
All right, so you're saying 8 years ago with me, and what you're explaining sounds like what I saw. That was that was last year, October 17th,
Yeah, but the one I
2018.
saw was a conjunction of three planets.
Oh, like so they knew. I think. All right, I got it. Yeah,
And
and but
Jupiter,
I didn't really,
Jupiter,
I just was
Jupiter was
curious
in
to
there
see how
too.
people. I was curious to see if anyone was catching it, and how YouTube is. Some people elaborate, whatever, and I get it. So I was trying to see, there was only like two videos, and I would have thought that there would have been more videos on it because of the fact that, well, where's the people that are into really what is it, astronomy? You'd think a lot of it, maybe there is, and I just don't have the channel. But I was putting all kind of key words and just trying to find something that someone got like on regular person on their cell phone. But one guy, he was praying. I swear to God, it was, and I was just curious. I even said to my daughter, "Let's see who else may have seen that." And I only found two videos. I'm pretty sure it was two or three. Like it was, and to these three people, it was amazing.
Yeah.
And they felt something. They felt something. I was looking. I'm not ignoring anyone in the chat right now because my eyes get tired too. But I did see. I'm going to go back because I think Patrick is in Canada, right? He said that the minimum wage here is $10.50 an hour, Judy. Going back to that minimum wage, and well, that's that. But that's what I'm saying here. People are lucky if they get, I guess, 10.50. Am I right? Or I don't know.
Well,
It's just
in New
unbelievable.
York, it's 15 something. Different states are different, but in
Yeah,
Virginia, it's
it
only
fluctuates.
seven.
Yeah.
It's only $7 an hour.
And the thing is that 10.50, that was something in the 80s that was actually considered low as well. You know what I mean? Like there was a time that I didn't go on a job interview back in the day unless it was at least 30,000 or more. But the jobs were there. That's the thing. The jobs were there. They were looking for whatever skills you had. Also, it was a time where a lot of, just as you said, jobs went overseas because what happened. I don't know where any other country, but here, just to let Patrick know in Canada, here in America, what happened was back in the day, 80s and 90s, many jobs were whether it be factory, also telemarketing type of jobs, and like a lot of like people would call in, like phone jobs and office jobs and ordering, you know, things, You're right. A lot of these jobs, many of them, I think, at one point went to Ireland because the taxes were lower for the businesses. And then you had the NAFTA deal that got passed in the late 90s with, I think, what Bill Clinton was in, the NAFTA deal, which I remember telling a friend because I did watch the politics all the time, and I was speaking with a friend at work, and I even said, this, I said, this ain't a good thing. I said, this is
Right.
a terrible thing. I'm like, I said, this is going to take all the jobs from us, and it's going to get corrupt real quick. You can smell the corruption from it. And I never forget Oprah Winfrey, her show is on, and I do understand what people say, like they feel like they're getting mocked. You know what I'm saying? But I don't want to go that far. I know that there's a thing with YouTube about, I'm not going to say it, with certain sex and secret societies and stuff like that, and who really knows? But, I'm not saying, I wouldn't put it past. But I remember that she was like, the audience, or they were even asking people on it, like, do you know what the NAFTA deal is? And many people are like, oh no, I don't know what it is. And they're like, well, they're going to about to pass it. And it's just like you said, like, just, unless they pick and choose people to put on TV, had no clue and didn't care. It was almost like, oh wait, it's the okay to do it. It did seem like, looking back in hindsight with a lot of things, and what like looking hindsight at our age, at least, yeah, I beg to question a lot of things that I myself am guilty of following and perhaps believing the narrative, but it wasn't quite that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like getting convinced. But I don't want to go that far, but yeah, like that one I remember, and it got passed, and then here we are, 20 something years later, and most of the, like when I remember calling Macy's, what, a year or two, like I think, what, 2 years ago, I called, and I'm sure most people in America know this. I say I don't know. Like that's why I was curious with Canada. When you call in a calling center, like America, when you call in a lot of these calling centers, like first of all, the YouTube's disgusting because from what I understand, you could call them and you have to have a certain number of subscribers to get a real person or something. I don't know that story, but I think that that's a terrible business practice. But anyway, uh, um, I know that like I would call and the person's not even from the United States.
Yep.
They're like they were from India. One
Yep.
guy one time I was like, "Oh God, it's a terrible snowstorm." Right? And I'm like, I go, "How's it by you?" And he goes, "Oh, snow?" Or something like that. And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm in PA. We got an ice storm going on." He goes, "Well, I'm in Costa Rica." I said, "You?" I said, "On vacation? Or you live there for a living?" And I said it like that in a way because I was like, and he goes, "Oh no, I live here." And I'm like, "Well, lucky you that you got a job there." And I even said to this guy, there's a lot of people in America. I'm calling from America. Um, I said I'm just curious. I said, I'm not trying to give you a hard time. Do they give you a hard time? But this guy spoke more. Did didn't have, and I'm not trying to be prejudiced. Trust me, I come from an Italian family. They got very Italian accents. Okay, not even and speak Italian and that kind of thing. But uh, he said, no, no one really asked me. But then again, I used to say, but then when there were people, my husband, he'd get frustrated 'cause when he would call and nothing to get, what happened was like when he would call and get the call from someone from India, and they are the nicest people, but it was hard to understand and that's the way I'll put it. And there were times my husband would hang, he would even say, I don't understand you. I speak English. Could you give me someone that speaks English?
Oh, I've done the
And
same.
he
I've done the
and
same, and
this
I
is
said,
what went
"Look,
on for a decade, more than a decade.
you're
My
taking
husband would hang up and he
American
said, tell,
money. I'm an
I said, my
American.
husband, write the corporation a letter and tell them you demand
At least
someone
give me somebody that can
that's
speak
from
English,
the
right?
U.S. or speaks English a
Right.
lot better. It's not trying to be prejudiced. It was, I get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
And
mean, it's just like if
that,
someone only speaks Spanish, they expect to speak to someone that can speak Spanish. Well, I speak English. I expect to speak to someone that can speak English well enough.
exactly.
If
And
I
then
can't understand you, how are you going to be tech support for my cell phone or my computer or whatever that I bought that is in the English language and you can't speak the English language with me? Then you can't help me. Why are you on the phone with me?
well, here's another one that I remember one time, and like I would try to get would have more of the patience, and my husband would call, and he'd go, "Can I?" And he would even at first he'd be not he's not a nasty person, like he's pretty cool, and he'll go, I'm having a hard time understanding you, and he would say, "Can you give me someone that's speaks English a little bit better, or I can understand them?" He goes, "Do you have like a call center in the States?" And he goes, "Where am I calling anyway?" And it got to the point, if you remember, and most Americans I think felt this way, they didn't even want to say what country they were from. Then they were lying, saying they were in America. They weren't lying. So we're in America. We're in America. They got that back. That they must have been told to lie and tell the Americans that they're in America. Maybe they were. I don't know. Maybe they were underneath the Denver airport for all we know, but they didn't speak English good. It didn't matter.
No,
We
they
would get like so
yeah.
frustrated, and it's almost like. But I do know what you mean. Like what they did was, why should they pay us the money when they could pay them $1 a week? And we're buying these products
Or
and they
tax.
don't have to, so yeah, but as I said, my husband, like, these CEOs and these
But
stockholders and everyone else,
that's because
they want to still make their same
our
billions.
government lets these American companies get away with this crap.
Yeah.
They let them ship the jobs overseas so they can pay minimum while they charge us maximum, and while they get the tax benefits. This has been this way for a long
Well,
time, and
here's
it's
a good one.
continued to get worse. And they
Oh,
wonder
it's been
why
like this
our
for at
economy's
least
bad.
after NAFTA, it went downhill. I'm not blaming it all on NAFTA, but after, and
Well,
I don't know if it was their
it
plan
was
design,
downhill
but
before that. It was downhill. This has
eh,
been going on 40 years.
yeah, like when what resonates with me, and not that I'm promoting him, is when the president did say during elections, I don't know if he said it afterwards, but it resonated with a lot of people when he did say that I felt when how he meant it when he said your our country was, how did he put it, like, was how did he put it, I forgot, like sold out, you know what I mean, like, so I'm forgetting the phrase, but basically they sold out your country, powers that be, all the, who knows what he was really talking about, but we've been sold out. We've been sold out. You know what I mean? Like it's like we were being treated like a hedge fund,
Well,
and
I'm
and you
sure
know how a hedge fund works, right? So it's a win-win the way those hedge fund
I'm
people
sure
work.
Jesus is
That's enough.
looking down on a lot of people, and people don't even realize the sin involved. I was thinking about it today.
Oh,
The American dream, right? To own a house and a white picket fence and yada yada yada. 2.5 cars, 2.5 kids, and a dog. Well, and then I was looking at sports, and you take these millions and billions of dollars made for kicking a ball around or throwing a ball around, and then the competition is so fierce, and
and
I'm
it's
like,
scripted, and if I understand, it's scripted, so there's a win-win for the people making bets on that one.
well,
But go ahead. I'm sorry, hon.
the point is, how come people aren't growing up competing on how many good deeds they can do, on how many people they can get clean water to, how many people they can get food to
Well,
that are starving? Why is there a
exactly,
competition
exactly.
for stuff like that instead of competitions for kicking a ball around? You know, and
Oh, I hear you.
and why is the American dream on? And then people aren't satisfied when they get that house and the white picket fence. Then they want a bigger house. I know two, and
You don't want to be.
I'll
I
just
had a
use
house
these
bill. I
these
got a
for an
four
example.
bedroom. Trust me. Go for the ranch. Take
The
take my advice.
there's this couple.
Go
They're
for the
both
little
they're
mini
both
ranch.
police
My
officers.
advice. And I'm not even joking. I have a 3.5 garage. Trust me. Go for the little place. I'm telling you now. It's not fun cleaning that either. But
Okay,
I
well,
give you credit. That's what you said about the stadium, Drew. I can't even keep up with a 4 bedroom, and you do a stadium. So I got where you're at. I'm like, wow, that is exhausting.
what I'm saying is, like, this couple that I know, they're both Virginia Beach police officers, and she works a lot of part-time stuff, extra, what they used to call it moonlighting, um to earn
Yes.
extra money because they want a bigger house. Now the house they live in is fine, but they want a bigger house, and then they want
Yeah.
newer cars, and and then a bigger boat and a bigger this and a bigger that. And not once does, not them, but lots of people think about, oh, I should be happy with this, because everybody's attitude is, well, I work for it. Well, technically, you don't work any harder than anybody else. Just because you make $90,000 a year and I make $7 an hour doesn't mean you work harder than me. Doesn't mean you're smarter than
That's
me.
exactly right. I've
You're
seen that
blessed
all
with
my
that,
life. In fact,
and then you're not even
they couldn't handle
satisfied
your
with it.
job.
You want more and
They couldn't
more, and you're
listen.
not helping anybody.
They're
So
not
when you
even
stand in
cleaning
front
their
of
own toilets
God,
and stuff.
you
They'd be
know,
exhausted.
when you stand
I
in
got
front of
news.
God, you're not taking that stuff with you. And what are you going to have to say when Jesus says, and he shows you a picture of these children drinking dirty distillery water, because they don't have a fresh water supply, but you lived in $1 million house and had 10 horses and you know what I mean, a
I know
big
exactly.
yacht and yada yada. I mean, yeah, it is, you know, but see, we've been sold on the idea, well, I worked for it. I deserve this. I deserve that. I work, and that is not
I
how
think
God
it goes down
intended
more
the
to the way
world.
our government. If our government wasn't as corrupt as it was, the actual government system, that the truth is, with the way our forefathers, I believe, intended it to be, it would work beautifully. It's just that because of the corruption that's going all the way to that top, it's not working beautifully. The only, like, when people were saying drain the swamp, that's the truth. But to try to get, we know them by thy fruit. I'm not saying they're all bad, but I'm telling you, to get rid of those generations, like I see, I want everybody to know in the chat, I'm not ignoring them because I do see Patrick's made some good points about the call center, and I'm sorry, and I didn't mean to cut you off there, Judy. I wanted to look at. Um, he said something with the hold on. I see Eminent had some good stuff here too. Like I said, when I'm having a conversation, I know what you're saying. So hard to look at the. I'm looking at the chat, but to read it. But he was saying with the call center. I wanted to see that. Where's that at? Wait. Um. Oh, jeez. It was something where Patrick. I think he said it was it him or his son or wait minimum wage. Okay, hang on. I want to find it.
He just said that his son worked for one in California,
Yeah,
and he
and it
was
got shipped out, right? And he's in Canada, correct? Right, Patrick? He's in Canada. So and it went. Here it is. My son,
oh
you worked in the call center here from the U.S. For a a phone company in the U.S. And then after a few years, yep, they lost their jobs to a call center in India.
yeah.
And here's the kicker. I called like 2 years ago in Macy's about a card to see how much I had left on a card from a gift card. My daughter was younger, and the girl was really nice and everything. And I had a curiosity. I do ask. Not I'll even say, where am I calling? Like, where are you guys at? Nicaragua. I almost died. I even said to my husband, and I have nothing against Nicaragua, but excuse me, I was just like Nicaragua. But then, like, I had to hang up on the girl anyway because, like, I said, oh no, I got to pick my daughter up because I was like in front of the school. I said, she says, well, we're almost there, and I'm like, just to check. I said, no, and I still have this gift card. I think it's like $30 on it or something.
Well,
I'm like, no, forget it.
one time I called,
I said
and
no more, and I even told her, you
the
got any
girl,
Indian
the
people there from
girl was
India? And
out
she goes,
partying and
what?
answered the call.
Excuse me?
The girl was out partying and answered the call. Like she forwarded it to her cell phone
What?
or whatever, and she was out partying, and all the noise in the background. I'm like, I can't even hear you because of the noise in
Oh
the
God,
background.
it's
So
gotten
I,
that bad.
hang up and I'll call again, and hopefully I'll get somebody that isn't at a bar.
Oh God. Well, did you ask her where, like, what country? I like to always ask,
No, I
like,
already
what
know they're
country am
not
I?
in the U.S.
I apologize.
I already know they're not in
I,
the U.S.
oh, that's what I'm saying. And look, and I don't know what's going on. Like once again, yeah, like if Patrick's going, we know Suzanne side. I don't know if that has to do it exactly. Like that, is it by design? Was there a big plan there to, really, to get us into, that whole thing of the one currency and all that. There's so many theories out there. Um, like once again, like you said, you have these YouTube stations that some people believe, oh, that's it, we're going to crash, and that playbook like they did back in the day, during the Depression, I guess, and who knows, I wouldn't put it past, but at this point, wouldn't we know thy enemy at this point if they were going to do it that way too? With that that whole script, like I don't know, I don't even mean to laugh because it's really horrible. I mean, there are what happened here. in Pennsylvania now, and it happened in the '80s too, but not as bad. There, oh, are you all right?
Yeah.
All right. So you got to have that value pack bullion. I'm telling you or something. I'm not even busting your chops. I'm just you
Bouillon is
know.
not going to help me. It's not going to get rid of the pain. It's not going to stop
You
my
don't have no
sinuses
cough drops
from
or
draining. Yeah, but
anything.
they're
You
not
know what?
working.
You gotta. I don't know if you got like an email or whatever, and then I could get your address, privately, and I'll send you some eucalyptus drops. I'll even send you that chicken soup. Okay, and some good tea, Bigelow, some Bigelow green tea and some honey. All right. I don't even mean to be loud because I know I had that cough. I get that. I'll be getting it. If you don't hear from me, I'll even let you know I have laryngitis because I get that laryngitis at least once or every other year, all the time. I get the allergies, and it's beginning here for me, so
Well,
it's coming.
this isn't an allergy right now. This is a cold or something.
Like a fever. Yeah, my sister had one. What did you take your temperature?
A
I
hundred and
had one. I had a few times
a
that
hundred
few
and
because my
one,
with
which
my
is
daughter.
almost 103 for other people because my normal body temperature is 96.5.
Oh,
I have a
okay.
low body
I got
temperature,
you.
so when even when I have a temperature of 99, that's like 101 for most people.
Yeah. And
But
yeah, I know what you mean. I've had
I mean,
that
right now, even
104 fever.
my nose even hurts right now.
Oh,
I'll be all
well,
right though. Huh?
what do you have in the cupboard? You got to find something to take something.
No, I took that Motrin. I'm just waiting
Oh,
to go to sleep and hopefully sweat the fever out or whatever.
yeah.
I didn't take
And
my
I'm
vitamins
because I
today
don't
though,
want to
so
keep
that
you
didn't
up till
help.
2 in the morning if you're gonna get because it's already 1 o'clock.
I just looked outside and we got almost full moon. Full moon. Yeah,
Oh, take a
it's
picture.
94%
That's
tonight. Is the full moon was a couple of nights ago. The moon tonight is 94.3% blah.
oh, you almost said that word.
Not
Strike,
Illuminati.
strike.
Illuminosity.
Oh my God! Even my daughter, you know what? And like she's sleeping. Like I don't. I have headsets in my ear now. She's got. She's pretty set up
Yeah,
nice.
that
My
big
daughter.
bright
Daddy
star.
likes to spoil her. Trust me. But she's a good kid. Okay, a good daughter. But she's like. We do watch like what she does. He checks it. And everything, or I'll check it. And usually it's silly stuff. It's what an 11-year-old and her friends would be watching. Some stuff I'm like, but like, but silly stuff. The Roblox thing, I'm glad she kind of doesn't really do that much, was waning off of that. 'Cause I don't know, but I want.
Are you still there? Hello? 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 Alright. Um, I don't know what happened. The phone call just went bye bye. That was strange. Might have been because I was typing in the room and didn't pay attention to the little whatchamacallit. Can you hear me, Suzanne? It went busy landline. Is it windy there? I mean, we had rain here. Can you hear me?
Yeah. It could just be my landline because it got windy here, and I don't know if I mentioned that there were a lot of trees, like that went down yesterday with the storm. So they
Oh.
were doing like cutting trees, not all the trees, and they because my power didn't come. I have a generator, so it went off last night around I think 7, 8 o'clock, and we had the two winter storms, the two rainstorms, and we get like what's called like it's a whirlwind. It's happened before, but not really in that. Just a lot of trees or branches went down, so they had to do the lines. It could be that. And it went on. This came back this afternoon. Was it Patrick? Wow, keep safe, Suzanne. And I'm sorry because we were in a discussion. Well, I'm going to bring up this. Barry, I was like, oh no, but I'm not on the cell. I'm like, maybe we mentioned that word, like the word. But I'm like, wait a second, I'm on my landline. But my daughter, we laughed because at her school, they have like a little poetry book. So, teacher, which is nice, puts together the kids' names and the poems, and they make like a drawing, and talk about premonitions with kids and knowing, but I won't get into that. You know what I'm talking about when they draw things. But she even goes, Mom, and it's not even for me, because what I was going to say is I have the headset in my ear. And when I talk, like, I don't even talk about stuff like that. Like, it's me listening if it's conspiracy or whatever. And she's like, when I turn, I'm like, oh, there's like an anxious.
Are you there? Okay, it went bye-bye again. That's crazy. Maybe it's the delusional word. The Illuminati? Nah. It's funny, a lot of YouTube channels, like, they type these asterisks and whatever, trying to say that they can't type certain words into the title, like military or whatever, and I put it all in the title and it still goes through. Can you hear me?
It hung up. You know that, right?
Yeah.
So you see what I put in the chat.
Yeah.
But I'm on my landline. But who knows? Who knows what the the phone company or whatever did over there?
I think it's just
I think it's for the wind. This has happened before. It has to do with the wind. It's like, or whatever's going. It's happened before.
Yeah.
Like either that, or maybe my husband's hearing me from up there somewhere.
I can't hear you.
Either that or my husband's hearing me. Maybe I'm talking too loud and he's hanging it up. He usually will be like, get off the phone, because he's trying. But I think he's sleeping. God. I was seeing, was it Patrick, they're saying waiting for the sun to come up. What do you work, a night shift job?
No, he lives in the UK. I mean, in Canada.
Canada, so...
Patrick's an hour and a half difference. He's in a special place. They have their own time zone there, different from everybody else's. It's an hour and a half difference, right, Patrick?
Ahead or behind?
Ahead.
See, I used to know this stuff, but and I'm saying the only reason why I felt like it was because of the job that I had. I had to know, we sold reports, all, it wasn't just the United States, like the consulting firm, it was back in the 90s, and it was very busy back then. but it was data of how much, like, on scale people should get paid. And what was like, it was Canada. We had Canada emerge. I forget what it's called. Acquisition reports, things like that. And we had Sri Lanka. Like, we had all over the place.
Right.
And I used to know all the time zones. You know what I mean? When people call, like, you had to know all that with this job. But then life goes on, so I forgot all about all that.
Right.
And it's amazing, like the time zones. And do they have daylight savings time, or it's only us that they mess up
No,
in the U.S.?
it
Do you guys have
depends.
daylight?
Different countries have it in different areas. Just like some places here don't have it. Arizona
Yeah,
doesn't have it here. Um,
that's right.
Hawaii doesn't have it.
Okay.
Um,
Okay, Pat.
yeah, I mean, just like one place in Florida is an hour difference. And I can't remember where it is, but somewhere in Florida. Um, then California is 3 hours difference. And Hawaii is 5 or 6 hours difference, depending on where we're at because they don't change their time.
Yeah.
And the UK, where Sean is, they don't change time. So sometimes he's 4 hours difference, and sometimes he's 5 hours difference. Lulu is 14 hours difference in the Australia.
Oh, yeah, that's
Now
right.
Spencer
Yeah.
of the North, who is in Canada, also is in the same time zone as us.
Oh, okay. All right. I mean, I know Canada. I could be wrong. How many provinces are
I
there?
don't
Like, I
know.
forgot. Was there five?
I,
Five
I don't
provinces?
know.
There's different provinces. I used to know all this, but life goes on. And you're like, talking about with when going back to that Mandela thing, I'm like, well, wait a second, maybe it does make you question, but then you're like, well, no, I don't know,
Wait a minute,
you know.
Patrick. I think you're an hour and a half ahead of the East Coast. So you're what time do you have there right now? Because it's 1:19 a.m. here on the East Coast.
Oh, you're talking?
I'm talking to Patrick.
No, it's 119. We're the same.
Yeah, I
Oh, I
know.
thought you meant me.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to tell Patrick because I think we were still an hour and a half difference.
I mean, it doesn't have
He thinks
daylight
we're only
savings
30
time.
minutes difference.
This is half hour ahead of the East Coast, and we don't have daylight savings time.
No, he says we do
Okay.
have daylight savings time.
Oh no, he does say I do. Oh my God, it's late. It's the reading glasses time or something, or time to go to bed. Either one,
Yeah,
okay? So it's like,
I had to read it twice to get what he was saying. Yeah, that's what I
yeah,
thought. See, you're an hour and a half ahead of us.
with Patrick. Well, wait,
Yeah,
he's got
he's an
numbers.
hour and a half ahead of the
Oh,
East
okay, I
Coast
see.
time,
240. Okay, I got
or
it.
Eastern
Yeah,
Standard Time, as we call it.
yeah. But I
And
like
you're
those shows. Like, I go on
five and a
certain
half
chats
hours ahead
that,
of California time,
yeah.
and four
There's
and a half
certain things.
hours
Oh,
ahead
go
of
ahead.
Arizona time.
Well, like, I don't know if anybody's done a YouTube channel where now did that. Um, and I'm not even trying to push this on you because, like I said, the Mandela thing is big. But I find it fun. I know there's this one guy, he does it all the time. Yeah, quite a few stations, and they do well with it. But my
Yeah, but see,
thing
I would
was,
end up
what is the
debunking.
message?
I
Like, no,
would
no,
end
no,
up. I
listen.
would end up debunking so much of that I
No,
don't.
no,
That's
but
why I
the
don't even
thing is,
like
it's
touching
the
the topic.
message of what is the message, what, psychological operation, whatever people want to call it, like where they're like, okay, well, it used to be, all right, like the interview, and I hate to say it, like the interview with a vampire, and like now it's an interview with the vampire. but it's almost like T's and S's are missing. So I said, geez, I hate to say what maybe they're trying to spell there. You know what I'm
See,
saying?
the thing, especially now with the internet, first of all, anything that has to do with business, a name, a movie, the label, whether it's Ford or Campbell's or the Monopoly guy, any of that, it changes through time. They try to keep up with the times because they're
Oh,
trying to
I know
sell
they do.
something.
Yeah.
So they change stuff to keep up with the times, or just like the Ford label. The
Yeah,
Ford
certain like
emblem,
words
the
they
Ford
take out because
emblem
they
in the
feel it's not
United
a
States
exact.
was different than the Ford emblem that they shipped. The Fords that got shipped overseas had a different emblem because they thought it would sell better that way overseas based on the demographics and what people liked in that particular area. So anything to do with business names, logos,
Well, even actors
titles.
and actresses, they'll change their name. Even I mean, I work with an attorney. You can legally change your name. It's not like you can. I used to do it with an attorney. There were a few people that actually
Yeah, you don't
they
even need
le-
an attorney.
they
You can go in
legally
front of a
changed their
judge and change your
name
name.
because they wanted it more American. Actually, there were a few gentlemen that and more was more men. I did about 20 of these name changes at one time. Made me wonder what they were up to, but I wasn't going to get involved. You know, so but it's up to the judge and went for it, and they just wanted to legally change for whatever reason. Maybe they're running. I don't know. Maybe they just the lawyers. The one guy wanted to change his name because, and I think it did have a lot to do with because this is going back. I was pregnant. I want to say 2005, six, around 2007. I want to say seven were these name changes coming in, but a lot of them, and I don't mean to sound like this, were names that I think because that was like the beginning of us, like the government going, oh, terrorist, and trying to pin it on once again religious and culturalistic names. I'll put it that way. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And they wanted a business, and they were changing their name to be more American so that they wouldn't be perhaps ostracized. Because
Yeah.
I had met two or three of them. One guy, because sometimes he would meet them, and they seemed like decent fellows to me. So I kind of, and that's, me and the lawyer were talking. The lawyer even said that, and I was like, yeah, I said, I hate to say it, it makes sense. I get it. They
Oh,
wanted to name their business an American name,
right.
and they wanted their name, that business, but the American name. I get it.
There's several different reasons people are changing their names and have changed their names throughout history. Um,
Oh yeah.
Part of it
Yeah.
scripture wise. Um, Part of it is one. I'll give you a quick example. A friend of mine used to work at the power company. So this man called in and he had just had his sex change operation. So he wanted his
Okay.
name to be changed from Michael to Tanya.
All right.
And, he legally changed his name when he
Yeah.
changed his sex. But anyway, there's also other reasons. But I'll save some of that for tomorrow night's chat.
Okay. Well, we don't want to get Tanya mad. I don't know if Tanya's listening in, and God bless you, Tanya. I hope you're still happy. And I got nothing against, and but that's nothing like, I think, they push it out there, but I don't think it's as big as people really think it is. I mean, growing up, I'll tell you, like growing up outside of the city, and I was in the city every weekend in the 70s, and I would tell you that there was more openness of, I'm not pushing it on nobody, I'm just saying, I'm not, but there was more openness of gay. And I didn't, as a kid, like men holding hands and, more openness of that. I'm telling of
Yeah.
that than there is. Even though, I have family in New York now. It's like New York's like Walt Disney over there. It's totally different than from the 70s. So it seems like there was more openness of that in the 70s to me as a child as opposed to now. Most definitely. Most definitely. Now, I can't speak for like when they talk about San Francisco because I was never there. When they say, "Oh, San Francisco," okay, but New York, but once again, New York, during the '80s, you had to literally jump over the bums. You know what I mean? It really was that bad with the homeless. And I'm not saying like I'm not even trying to put anybody down. There were a lot of homeless people back in the '80s in New York City because I had jobs in New York City. I used to temp there, and I would take the Port Authority because sometimes I didn't take my car because it was like the parking. Talking about money, it wasn't really worth it. It was worth it for me to take the bus, and it was tiring. Take the bus, go to Port Authority, or take the subway, get to where I'm going in Manhattan, and it was like it just that itself was exhausting, and I was young at the time, and it in but I just remember like every 2 seconds was somebody begging you for money, and you were like, no, no, and it was almost mean, but it had to come to that point. It had to because it just got not that like we all knew something had to be done, and I believe it was Mayor Koch. I could be wrong, Mayor Koch, and I could be missing somebody. And then later was Giuliani or whatever, but it was Mayor Koch back then, I think. And they decided to clean the city, and I swear to God, it was like overnight. Now they said like they put a lot of somebody had told like a lot of the what they did was they took a lot of the homeless and they sent them to the Jersey side, okay, and spread them out. And here and there, but more of the cities that are within the Jersey. But I think they housed some of them. I could be wrong. But there was a rumor even back in the day, and there was no internet, just like a local rumor. I don't even want to say what they were saying, what they really did with some of those homeless people.
Uh,
And
okay.
that's why, I'm not trying to scare anyone. Like, what I'm saying. I don't know. It was a rumor. I don't know if it's true or not.
It was a rumor.
And what I'm saying, but they probably, they just kicked him out of there. But it was getting too bad. When they took Sodom and Gomorrah, it was like that in New York City in the '70s, and I can't speak so much for the '60s because you know, wasn't, like I do know though the '70s and the '80s. I mean, the '80s was a ball in the city to me. I was easy to drink underage. I partied there, so I'm not going to
Okay,
complain
okay.
about that side of it.
I gotta close out the show.
Yeah, I'm going to hang up too myself.
I need to
Oh, I
take some
see
more
you, Lord. I
Motrin.
need to sleep. I apologize. Yeah,
It's
I'm
all right.
tired.
I
I
need
got
to
to go
take some more
too.
Motrin and try to get some
No,
rest so I can
you
fight
need
off
to go to
whatever this
sleep.
is.
Okay. Once again, it was nice talking to you, Judy.
It was a
And
pleasure,
everybody,
young lady.
all right. We'll try to stay focused on stuff.
We could finish this tomorrow night.
Listen, we're talking late, so Patrick or try to
Patrick's
call in,
left
hon.
already.
Oh, did Patrick ever call in?
No.
Oh, okay. Because I did try to go to. Okay. All right, hon. Take it easy. Get some rest.
You take it easy too and stay out of the
And
wind.
all right. If Eminet's still hanging out, yeah. Good night, Eminette. Whoever's out there, good night. Okay, hon. God
All
bless.
right, got you, young
All right.
lady. Talk to you tomorrow or
Okay,
later
hon. Bye
today.
bye.
All right.
All right.
All right.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. We are in tomorrow. Okay.
Yeah.
Good night, hon. Bye.
Good night, honey. Yeah, Emnet.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna hang up. Good night.
Okay.
All right. Bye bye. You can ask me something. All right. Bye.
Bye. Um, man, my throat hurts. My muscles ache. I sound like a big baby. It's probably only a cold, but you know how it makes you feel all icky. So, um, I guess I can. Yeah, I'm tired. I definitely need to get some sleep tonight. could play some Chuck Missler for y'all or something. Let me see if I can find it easily. If anybody wants to hang around and listen to it, they are welcome to stay in chat. And um, yeah, so I can't even finish my sentences now. Oh, come on. I like the ones where the transhumanism was good. I just don't even want to act right now. Oh, thank you, Story. God bless you too. You joined us late. We're still waiting for the day you can call in, Story.
Hey everyone, if you suffer from vision loss, this is for you, because this video was made especially for people who are looking for options of coping with vision loss.
Come on, I'm too tired for the commercials.